Hi, my name is Julian Koma from Market Update Premium. We are a growth and momentum traders community. Today I want to show you how I handle my big winners in my portfolio right now. So you can see here on the right side my portfolio, and we have a couple of big winners in it. For example, TMC, which we bought here and it's now up 140%. I'm owning Ampex, which is a battery stock that I bought here and it's now up 114%. I own Joby, which I bought here and it's now up almost 100%. And also QS is a big winner. We bought here and it's now up 106%. But you know how to handle these big winners. In the past, I already sold a lot of these winners into the strength. I just took profits when they were up 30-40% and then I sold them, right? But I made up my mind to hold on to them as long as they fulfill my rules. And there are two critical rules for holding on to a stock. And the first one is it must be above the EMA8 and the second one is it must be above the EMA21. These both moving averages are my helpful guidelines to stay in the big winners. And you can see that in the past, right? If we go back to a stock like SoundHound, which I bought here, and you look back here to this big up move in 2024, you can see how long the stock held the EMA8. So a lot of members bought the stock here at the time, and you can see it moved 260% in just a couple of weeks and held the EMA8 for a couple of weeks. And there is a very simple rule. I teach that to my members and also to the students for my video course. If a stock pulls back 3 times to a moving average and it is above the moving average for 7 weeks, then this is what I call the dominant moving average. The dominant moving average should be your selling guide. And you can see that here. First pullback, second pullback, third pullback, fourth pullback, fifth pullback, and then the stock broke the EMA8. And it's very simple. So as long as the stock is above the EMA8 here, in that case, you want to hold on to that. Because, you know, there is nothing more intelligent, to say it that way, than the moving averages. You know, you really have to swallow down your ego. You will never ever catch the exact top. And you will never ever be right on a stock. Instead, you can simply rely on these moving averages and stay in the stock as long as possible. And you don't want to sell out the stock only because it's, you know, a couple of percent below the moving average. You want to wait for a close here below a moving average, or on the other side, you wait for the close and then you can put your stop loss below the low of the day and let the market take you out of the trade. That's important. You don't want to say, oh, this is the top here, for example, I want to sell out, or you know, you don't want to say, okay, I want to sell out here because, you know, the stock is up 224%, right? I made 2 big mistakes this year and I want to also show you them. So I sold out CoreWeave, which was a big winner. I sold out this thing too early because I thought, okay, this is now too extended. This is now the top. I want to sell out. No, it was not the top. So we bought that here. I sold it out here for almost 140%. I think it was 145% profit at the end. So, but after that, the stock moved higher, another 70%. And the same is true with AIVA, which I sold also too early. You know, we bought the stock here and I sold the stock out here for, I think overall it was 140% profit. And then you can see it pulled back just to the EMA8 and then it moved another 150%. And I know it's very, very difficult for the most traders to accept that a normal moving average is more intelligent than your own decision making. I know that it is really, really difficult. And it's also very difficult to hold on a stock through these deep pullbacks of sometimes 20 or 30%. But you know, what is the alternative? I show you TMC again because I held the stock here through 124% pullback, and another 20 or almost 30% pullback. And you can see that the stock moved higher and higher after that. And I really swore to myself that I will never ever go against the moving averages. And that is the reason why I'm still in stocks like MPEX, like QS, like Joby, for example, and also like TMC. And I will handle all my other winners like ONDS, like UMAC, like Redwire, and so on and so on. I will handle them exactly the same way. I have my rules. I teach these rules to the members and also to the video course students. Of course, we have our stop losses, we have our breakout stop, we have our time stop, but as soon as the stock moves into profit, I'm following the moving averages and nothing else. Because I know how long these stocks can hold above the moving average. So, and there is one rule you must keep in your mind, and I already said that. The 3 pullbacks and 7-week rules. And if you look here at TMC as an example, this one violated the EMA8 multiple times. But when you look back here to the beginning of the trend, you can see the first pullback was to the EMA21, the second one was to the EMA21. So it already pulled back 3 times to the EMA21. That's the reason why I keep now the EMA21 as my selling guide and not the EMA8. And you want to be very, very patient with these big winning stocks. That's really important because you have no idea how long they will stay above the EMA8 and EMA21. They can stay for another couple of weeks here. They can stay for another couple of months above the moving averages. So, and as long as the trend is up and as long as the moving averages are not violated, you want to really stick to the plan and you want to stick to the moving averages. And that's not easy, right? Because if you look at a stock like MPEX here, this one can easily pull back 15 or maybe 20% and then start to build a new base or maybe move higher after that. So it could look like this here. And this is what I'm looking for in these extended stocks. I'm not looking, or I'm not panicking, and I'm not afraid of, the stock could turn around and go against me, etc. I rather miss 20% here of the profits instead of missing the next 100% up move. And that's what these stocks are doing. They double and double and double again in strong bull markets. And if you sell them out too early, you are probably missing a big part of the up move. And I know that it's not easy. I mean, we're discussing that almost every day in the community when we say, this stock is a little bit too extended. Should I take profits, etc. I give you one tip, and that's how I handle the situation. When a stock makes a big move, it is or the share of your portfolio that the stock has is also increasing dramatically. That's one of the reasons why I sell a lot into the strength. So I maybe start out with a 10 to 15% position here, and when the stock advances in price, I sell on big days like these here. I sell a part like 10 to 20% of the position. I sell them into the strength. And this is how I keep control of my position size in extended stocks. And that is one of the reasons why a pullback of 15-20% does not hurt me so much, because I don't have a very, very large position here at the top or at the current price. I start out with a 10 to 15% position, then it grows and grows, and I keep the position size at 10 to 15%. So for example, TMC, I already took a lot of profits on the way up. It's currently rather an 8% position. MPEX is a 10% position. Joby is around a 10% position. QS is a 10% position. So I already took some profits here into the strength to keep the position size under control. And when this thing pulls back 20% against me, it's not a big disaster for my equity curve and for my portfolio. So, and I know from the work with traders, I know how difficult it is to manage big winners. It's very often that drawdowns periods or, periods where you lose money is not so exhausting as if you are in big winners and they show you a very large profit. Because in that moment you are tempted to take profits anytime and say, oh, it can't go higher, it can't go higher. But the reality is, and you really have to accept that as a trader, you have no clue. You don't know where the stock is going. It could go down 20% from here, or it could go up 100%. And when you are a trend follower like me, and when you think, okay, price is right, then you try to be the most dumb trader that you can be, right? You want to follow the rules and you don't want to overthink things. Because I have seen stocks in the past making moves of 100 or 150, 200%, and then they go up or went up another 50 to 100%. I've seen so many things in my career, and I missed also so many profits because I thought I know something. But the reality is nobody knows the future, and you just can follow rules. And if you follow your rules, at the end you will have success if the rules lead or if the rules bring you, or if the rules have an edge. This is very important. All right, I hope that this short video helps you to understand how I manage the big winners. If you want to try out the Market Update Premium community, you can do that 14 days for free and have a look at what we are doing. If you look for deep knowledge, you can look into my video course, The Growth Traders Toolbox, which covers all the different themes. I already have taught these concepts to thousands of traders, so you are not alone.